Hello, hello. I think I'm having some difficulties here, but such. Ah, all right. Well, hello, everyone. Sorry, I seem to be having some technical difficulties, but I am just going to power through. Hello, everyone. It's your girl Gabrielle. Welcome to a brand new episode of Hot Topics. Let me tell you what this show is about. So, this is a show where we like to have real talk about real things. We like to talk about things in education, employment, mental health, physical health, or anything else that is steamy. We have done topics about homeschooling, robots taking our jobs, artificial intelligence, life as a tutor, life as a parent, life living with disabilities. So we've covered a lot of different ground today. And today is no different. So let me tell you what the topic of the show is today. So it's actually a repeat topic, but a brand new guest. So I'm actually bringing back a topic. I love it when I bring back topics. So the topic that I'm bringing back is organization, right? So we've talked about organization before, so make sure you check out part one. So today is part two of organization, and I like to keep my topics vague. I think it's the mental health counselor in me, in that, keep your topics vague and let the guest or the client, let them fill it with, their subconscious or whatever kind of comes out. So the topic is organization, and let me tell you who the guest is. So my guest today, her name is Angel Wilborn, and let me just tell you about who she is. So she is the owner and founder of her company called the Modest Company. And in the Modest Company, she helps you get your business on track or keep it on track. So getting it on track or keeping it on track by handling routine tasks and maintenance. She also leaves you free to focus on doing the things you love without feeling burnout. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Angel to the stage. Hey, Angel, how you doing today?
Hello, Gabrielle. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good, good. So we are here to talk about organization, right?
Yay!
I was just on your show
Yes.
about my organization technique. So now you're on my show. We're guest swapping,
Yes.
talking about your organization technique. So I'm going to have you take it away. So, organization, let's start there. What does that mean to you?
Okay, so we're just gonna jump right into it, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first I just want to say again, thank you for being on my show, and that episode will air on this Sunday, the 13th, 14th, whatever this Sunday is. So it'll air on then. But organization is my love language. I absolutely love organizing. I may be a little obsessed with it. Organizing to me means everything has a place and putting everything back in its place. I don't like to have to look for stuff. I don't want to go on a search and rescue mission when I need something. I want to know where it is and that I can grab it when I need to. Fun fact, I actually just started going into like TJ Maxx and Marshalls and like Ross and stuff, just started shopping there maybe 2 or 3 years ago because I couldn't stand like how I just felt it was so unorganized in there and everything was just all over the place. Like it literally just it made my skin crawl and it made me freak out. So so that's what organization is to me. Everything is nice and neatly in its place.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, talk more about that. So, what's the importance of things being in their place?
So when things are in their place, it's just easier for you to be able to find it. If you know where something is, and you if you know where something if something has a place, then you know where it is. And it saves you money. You don't have duplicates of things. Like on one of my episodes of my podcast, I actually talked about I told the story about Allegra. So my husband never puts anything backwards. Okay, every now and then he puts stuff back where it's supposed to go. But we were packing to go on a trip, and I was like, "Oh, we need to take some Allegra with us." And I knew that we had just bought a bottle of Allegra like not too long ago, and we don't use it like that. Like a bottle of Allegra could last us anywhere from 6 months to a year. So I was like, we just bought a full bottle of Allegra, but I couldn't find it in the medicine cabinet. I couldn't find it on the bathroom counter. So he was going to the store. I was like, "Hey, can you grab us another bottle of Allegra?" And he's like, "Okay, cool." So I'm packing, and I hear him pulling back into the garage, I look up, and sitting on the dresser is the full bottle of Allegra that I knew we had. And I was like, if it had been in the spot, we would have saved $15 because Allegra is not cheap. And I'm like, now we got these two bottles of Allegra, and it's going to take us 2 years to use them. Same thing with like pepper. We'll have three or four things of pepper because it's not back in the right spot. And as I said, I don't like looking for stuff. Like, I know that I have something, and I know the place that it's supposed to be in. So if it's not in the place that it's supposed to be in, then I think that I'm out of it, or either that like I've lost it, or that I'm going crazy because I'm like, I know that I had this. So that's why things need to go in their place. So when you need them, you can find them.
So you bring up an interesting point in that if you know where things are, you don't have to buy it again, right?
Correct.
So it's if you leave things in a certain place and you know that you can access it whenever you need to access it, then you don't have to buy it again.
Correct.
You could save money,
Yes.
and as opposed to when you constantly lose things and you constantly have to buy it, and now you're wasting money, and that's money taken away from things that you need
Right.
because you keep losing it.
Yes, yes. Being organized saves you money, people. Like, get organized. And also, like, being organized, it's a stress reducer because you're not sitting around looking for something or trying to figure out where something is, or you're not getting ready to walk out the door and wondering, "Oh, do I have my documents that I need for my meeting that I'm doing today?" Or, "Oh, did I sign the permission slip? Did I do this?" If you're organized, then you already know that you had your stuff laid out. Your stuff is already in the place that it is. And now, instead of you getting behind on time, spending 5 minutes looking for something, you can just get out the door and you can be on time and not have to stress about, "Well, am I going to be late? Am I going to run into traffic?" If you're organized, you can leave when you need to leave, and you won't have that added stress to yourself.
So what is it? Why are some people so disorganized? Why is it so difficult to just put things in a certain place? Why is there chaos? Why does it exist?
That is the $1,000,000 question, and I have honestly been asking my husband that for the past 15 years that we've been together. I'm like, "Why can't you just put stuff back where it goes? Like, please just put it where it goes." And he's like, "I try." And I'm like, "But did you though?" And I don't understand why people can't put stuff back where it belongs. Like, it just grinds my gears. I don't know if it's because like my dad was in the military, but then my mom is also like super organized. And as a kid, I'll tell you now, as a child growing up, I couldn't stand organization. Like, I did not like it. Like, mom would be like, "Put that back where it needs to go." And I'm like, "Why? I'm probably going to use it again later," or "I don't feel like walking all the way over there." And my mom could always tell when something was out of place. And then as I got older, it's just like, okay, now it makes sense. It cuts down, like you said, it used to use the word chaos. So like, it cuts down on the chaos now. You have it in your place, and she'd always say everything has a place and there's a place for everything, or something like that. And again, as a child, I was like, whatever. But now as an adult, I'm like, okay, I understand this now. It makes your life easier. And it also saves time on cleaning because, again, saving time. So if you're putting stuff back where it belongs after you use it, when you're doing your daily cleaning or your weekly cleaning, that's one less thing that you have to move or one less thing that you have to put in place because it's already where it needs to be. And so I just don't understand why people want to be so chaotic and not put stuff back where it belongs. You're the mental health expert, so you might be better equipped to answer that question than I am.
Well, sorry, you said your dad was in the military or your mom?
Yes, my dad was in the military, but my mom is like extremely organized. So,
Well, if for someone who's in the military, I would think your dad would
well,
be.
I should say both of them are organized. So my dad was extremely organized. So he had that military background of being extremely organized, and then my mom is also very organized. So the two of them together, like growing up, that's probably why I was like, y'all always want something organized, and I just don't have time for it. But now, as I'm older, I'm like, oh, okay, I understand it now. So yes, both of them very organized.
So, I mean, you brought it back to your upbringing in that you have a military dad, who's military people, they're all about rules and strictness and order and boom, 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 boom,
Yes,
and your mom who's extremely organized and she just, she can't handle like clutter. You grew up with that, right? And they
right.
raised you like that. And now you have your husband who sounds like the complete opposite, right? I'm assuming he had a different upbringing,
Well, yeah,
I mean,
I never thought about it. I never thought about it like that. Yeah, it does. I guess it does have a lot to do with the whole nature versus nurture type thing. So it does have a lot to do with your upbringing. And yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
so now are you one of those uptight people? Like if I went to your house and moved the cup, would you like freak out?
Yes. Yes, I would. So when I'm
Tell us more.
okay, so I am very like meticulous with things. I can tell if something has been moved and it's not supposed to. Like it may not immediately click in my mind what exactly has been moved, but I could look at like, okay, there's supposed to be something right there. Like what happened to it? Where's it at? Um, so if you were to come to my house and move something around, I would definitely notice that it was moved and I would probably be a little annoyed unless you had like a really good reason for moving it. But yeah, like even my mom, she comes like when she comes, so she can't stand dishes in the sink. So she'll literally like wash the dishes and she'll put them up and then she'll be like, "Oh, I don't know where this goes." Or like I'll look in the drawer and I'm like, "She didn't put this back in the right spot." I'm like, "This is not where this belongs." I'm like, "But I'm glad she washed the dishes." So I just kind of let it slide. But no, I will notice and I will definitely be upset if you move something.
Or your mom will come to your house and wash your dishes.
Yes, yes, she will, and I'm like, "I love it," and then when she leaves, I'm like, "Oh, come back. Can you come back, please? Please come back." So I'm like, "Please come back." So, yeah, and then my stepmom came, and she actually washed the dishes too. We had just finished eating dinner, and I'm like, "You don't have to wash the dishes." And she's like, "Oh, no, it's okay." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm not gonna argue with you if you wanna wash my dishes, like, go ahead." And then she's like, "Well, where did they go?" I'm like, "You can just put them on the drying rack," but it must be a their generation thing where the stuff can't go on the drying rack. So I don't know. That's yeah.
Are you like, is it, I don't want to say like maybe like borderline OCD? Like I like to, when it comes to dishes, like I like to group them by like utensils. Like I like to put all
Yes.
the forks together and the knives
Mhm.
together and the spoons together.
Yes. Yes. Yep, I do that too. So I have the little the silverware organizer. So all my spoons go, I have all the spoons together, all the forks together. And then the spoon, okay, so you're gonna laugh at me, but the spoons and the forks, they come in different sizes. And so in the organizer, it has, I don't know how many like spaces it has, but on the section that like I put the spoons in, there's like two sections for it. So I have them facing a certain way, and I have like the small ones on one side, and I have the big ones on the other side. But if like my husband or my mom or somebody puts them up, they may not put them on the right side. So then I'll go back in there and I'll switch the sides for them because I need this on the side. I need the small ones on the side that they're supposed to be on and facing the way they're supposed to, and I need the big ones on the side that they're supposed to be on and facing the way that they need to be. And so I read somewhere one time, because I'm an introvert. People don't believe it, but I'm an introvert. And so I read somewhere sometime, and again, you can probably correct me on this if I'm wrong, that introverts need like structure and they need order, and that's how, I don't want to say to keep themselves sane, but like that's just a part of their personality, is that they have to have that structure and they have to have that order within them, or they feel like things are chaotic if it is just like a spoon's out of place or something like that. And so, like I said, silverware, certain drawer, cooking utensils, certain drawer, knives, a certain drawer. Like it's, yeah, I try to keep it organized and together.
So what about, are you a color coder with clothes? Like I put all the green clothes together, all the blue clothes together, all the red clothes together.
So I'm not a color coordinator with clothes, but I am, like, all the short sleeves are together, all the long sleeves are together, all the sweaters are together, all the jeans are together, all the t-shirts are in one drawer. So I am organized with them in that aspect. I don't think I could do the color coding thing because it would bother me, because then I have to mix like long sleeves in with short sleeves, or jeans in with shorts, and that would annoy me. So just, yeah, no. I haven't gotten to the color coding part yet.
Hmm. So what about in terms of, so if I walked into your house right now, right, would it be, would it be clean? Would it be a little bit messy? What would I see?
It So my house is not spotless. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like I cleaned every day or anything like that. Like, my house is definitely, it's not spotless, and it's not messy, but I don't know, like, it's not spotless, but it's not messy. It's like somewhere in between, I guess, spotless and messy. I don't know if there is an in between for spotless and messy. Like, for instance, so we do family game nights like pretty much every night, and at one time, all the games were upstairs in a closet upstairs. And then, because we do game night so much, we do it downstairs in the on the kitchen table. So since we do it so much, we had started just leaving them downstairs. And I was like, okay, I was like, these have got to get off my kitchen table. So I stacked them in the I don't even know what it is. It's like a, I guess, a buffet type thing, but it has like little, it has drawers on it, and then it has little shelves underneath it. So I had stacked all the games up nice and neatly on the shelves down there. And I'm like, well, we can just leave them here, pull them out whenever we get ready to play a game. Well, then that turned into them being like stacked on the table. So I'm like, okay, we do play them every single day. So now I've just, and it's only three of us. So, and we have a table that seats six. So now I just have them stacked all neatly at the end of the table. So half the table is like where we eat at, and then the other half is where the games are stacked at, because that just seems to be where they keep getting left at. So my house isn't where you're going to come in and you can't like walk, or you can't find anything or anything like that. But you can tell that my house is lived in. Like, I'm not gonna yell or fuss if you spill water on the floor, if you spill juice on the floor, if you drop a crumb on the floor or something like that.
So you're not to the point of like, if I spilled something on the floor, you wouldn't like, you're never coming back to my house again. Like, what's wrong
Oh,
with you? Have
no.
you lost your mind?
No, I definitely, no, I definitely, first of all, I have a 7-year-old. So if that was the case, then I mean, he might have to be confined to one room. But no, I believe that like a house is to be lived in. You're gonna make messes. It's gonna happen. That's why they have all these cleaning tools and all these carpet scrubbers and all the different things. So yeah, if you spill something, I've had people come over and they're like, "Oh my god, I spilled something." I'm like, "It's okay. It's not the end of the world." Like, I've gotten nail polish on the floor before, because sometimes it'll be like, "Oh, if I haven't gone and gotten a pedicure, and especially in the summertime, and I'm like, "Oh man, my toes aren't painted. I need to paint my toes real quick before I run out the house." Like, I'll literally be standing there painting my toes, like standing up, bending down, painting my toes, and I've gotten like nail polish on the floor before, and I just clean it up and keep it moving. So you will not get kicked out of my house if you spill something on the floor. Now, I will say, because we'll do water upstairs, and we'll eat like food upstairs sometimes, but we don't allow for company to have like food upstairs and like drinks that are like colorful drinks and stuff like that. You can have water upstairs, that's it. So now I will say that if you come to my house and you sneak food upstairs or you sneak a drink upstairs and you get a stain on my carpet, I don't know. We're going to have to talk about whether or not you're allowed back in the house. And if so, whether or not you're allowed upstairs. But no, other than that, you're good.
Are you like the cup goes on the coaster type person?
I was. I was. And I've kind of let that go just like a little bit. I've kind of loosened up with it like a smidge. And it's funny that you say that because I used to be like a real stickler about it. And this is probably like a couple of years ago now, but I remember my brother-in-law came to visit us and my husband had like got something to drink or something like that. He set it down on the table. My brother-in-law was like, "What's wrong with you?" He's like, "Did you put a cup down on the table without using a cup?" He was like, "Angel's gonna get you. She's gonna get you." So it was funny. I was like, "I appreciate you looking out for me," but I've loosened up on that a little bit. So I'm getting better slightly, a little bit, maybe.
Well, I mean, what are you trying to change about it? What is it about, you know?
I'm just trying to realize that like everybody's level of organization is different. And I think we might have talked about this like a little bit on my show. Like what's organized to me may be complete chaos to someone else. And what's complete chaos to someone else may be like complete organization, you know? And
Mhm.
so I remember at one of my jobs that I worked at, this guy, we used to always be like, how can he find anything? And like his desk was literally stacked like this high with papers and junk and everything. And we're like, you need to clean this up. And he's like, no, I know where everything is at in here. It's like, there's no way that you can, but he would point to something. He's like, oh yeah, it's right there. And it's like, oh, okay then. Me, I couldn't live like that. Like that would freak me out and that would drive me completely crazy. But for him, that was organization. So I'm not necessarily trying to change myself. I'm just trying to realize that everybody's organization looks different and that sometimes there's nothing wrong with it, you know? So not trying to change, just trying to loosen up and not be such a stickler about everything, I guess I should say.
So it's sort of like you're coming to a realization of, not everyone is like you, right? So
Right.
it's sort of like you have to sort of accommodate other people while still keeping your persona. I'm trying to
Yes.
think how to phrase it.
Yes, yes, definitely. Like, and then so another instance is when we first moved into our house, the pantry, like our first house was just like a small, just regular pantry. But the one that we have now is like a walk-in one. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like as soon as I saw the pantry, I started seeing like all this organizing. And I just had this vision of how everything was going to look in the pantry. And I remember telling my husband and my son, I was like, y'all are not allowed in my pantry. If you need something out of it, let me know what you need out of here and I will get it out, but nobody touched my pantry. Well, that that obviously quickly like went away. So I've been trying to like I'll go in there maybe like once a month or something and just kind of like organize everything and put everything like where I feel like it should be. Um and then it'll get a little messy and I'm like, okay, so I'll just try to go in there, like grab what I need really quick and turn around and go back out. But I try not to every time something's out of place, like put it back in place because I realize that it's going to be out of place. And then you have to kind of think about it like, what's going to stress me out more? Coming in here and organizing it every time something gets out of place, or just leaving that one or two things that may be out of place, like out of place. So if I'm in there and I'm grabbing something and it's in the wrong place, like when I go to use it, I'll put it back where I feel like it should be. And then, like I said, like once a month or every month and a half, I'll like go in there and completely organize it and I'll look at it and it stays like that for a day or two. And I'm like, yay. And then it's back to how it was before. So yeah, yeah,
So it's sort of you have an awareness of, okay, I have this messy husband and I have a 7-year-old child who's by nature is messy. Children are just messy, right?
they are.
So and it's like, well, the food, right, is in the pantry.
Mm-hmm.
So of course people are going to keep going in for the food. So it's sort of like, do I want to organize it every single day, or is it just, picking my battles?
Right, exactly. And so now I will say this, my husband is not messy. Like, now when it comes to cleaning, my husband can clean like nobody's business. Like, he is a great cleaner. It's just he just won't put stuff back where it goes. Sometimes he will. Sometimes he will put stuff back and I'm like, "Oh, awesome." And then other times I'm like, that's not it's not where that goes. So, I won't call him messy. I'll just call him a little disorganized. And again, to a regular person, he's probably completely organized. But to me and my organization, I'm like, oh, this isn't it. And I think we also talked about this on my show. Like you said that you're like a combination kind of your parents. And so that's how my son is as well. Like for being a 7-year-old, sometimes he'll just put stuff wherever it is. And then he's like, well, mommy, do you know where this is? Or mommy, do you know where that is? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, can you help me look for it? I'm like, no, you need to put your stuff back where it belongs. Or he'll take his toys. Like at night, we're like, okay, it's time to clean up. And he'll take his toys and he'll just throw them in his playroom. And then 2 or 3 days later, he's like, well, I can't find my Paw Patrol, or I can't find my PJ Masks. And I'm like, it's because you threw it in your playroom. I've told you to stop throwing stuff in your playroom. But I guarantee you, if we go in there to clean out his playroom, to give away toys and to donate toys, and then he goes back later, he's going to be like, well, what happened to my PJ Masks toy? I haven't seen that. Or he'll be like, I haven't seen my PJ Masks toy in a while. What happened to that? So he knows what he has. It's just that sometimes he can't find it. And then other times he's like completely organized because he'll be like, well, that doesn't go there. Who put that right there? That's not where that belongs at. So you just never know which version of him you're gonna get. If you're gonna get the one who's just chunking his toys into his playroom, or if you're gonna get the one that's like, that's not where that goes. So yeah. So like I said, just come into the realization that my organization isn't everyone else's level of organization.
So now I guess, in talking about your child, like, what do you teach him? Like, do you teach him, okay, when you're done with the toys, put him in the toy area, or is it just, we're just gonna kind of leave it like, and then just thinking about your own husband and how he can disorganize, right? So I guess because your parents, I'm just thinking about your upbringing, and now it's like now you have a child of your own, right?
Right. So it's really funny because my husband will organize the playroom. The playroom is the one room in the house that I don't care what it looks like. Like right now, I'm pretty sure it looks like a tornado, hurricane, everything else ran through that playroom. I absolutely do not care. I close the door. I try to go in there as less as possible because I tried to organize it before, and then he would just come and like dump all the bins and stuff out of it. So I don't care about the playroom. It's the messiest room in the house, quite sure. Well, probably besides my office / sewing room right now because I have a couple of projects going on, so they're laid out on the floor. But my husband will go in there and like they'll go in there together. They'll organize the playroom. They'll clean up the playroom, and it's perfectly, it looks great. Me, I'll just be like, hey, put your toys up, and then he'll throw them in there. But like if we're eating dinner or if we're downstairs or something like that, I'm like, hey, you need to put your cup in the sink. Or I'll be like, well, the cups go over there. Like if he's asking, if he wants to help, because he likes to clean up too. He loves to like clean up and help out with stuff. So if he's helping out with something, I'll be like, okay, well, this goes in this drawer, that goes in, this goes in here, that goes over there. So you need to put that there. And then again, his toys are everywhere. Like they're not just in the playroom. He has a whole playroom. But then he has toys in the hallway outside of his playroom. Then if we're all sitting downstairs, sometimes he wants to bring his toys downstairs. So then he has toys downstairs. And then he has toys in our room. And so then that's what, like I said, my husband's super organized with the toys. Like he's like, yeah, your toys don't belong in here, buddy. You gotta get your toys out of here. You need to take your toys back upstairs, buddy. Like take them upstairs, And so me, I'm just like, push him over there in the corner. I mean, he'll be like, he's like, oh, I don't feel like taking him upstairs. And I'm like, just push him in the corner, dude. It'll crack me up because he'll bring it downstairs. But he's like, well, I need help getting it upstairs. Well, who helped you bring it downstairs? Right. I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel like, taking it back upstairs. So we'll just tuck it over there in the corner. So I guess it just depends on what you feel like organizing. I guess I should say more so like if that's what you feel like doing, then that's what you're gonna organize, and that's what you're gonna like put your focus on. Or if it's something that I don't know, if it's something that not necessarily bothers you, but it looks out of place and you know that like it's not supposed to be. So this is what I'll say about my husband. His organization is more of a okay, that's not supposed to be right there in that spot. Like your toys are not supposed to be in the living room. So you need to take your toys and you need to put your toys where they're supposed to be, or your coat shouldn't be hanging across the back of the couch. You need to take your coat and put it on the coat hook. And me, I'd be like, okay, you need to put your coat on the coat hook. But the toys, I'm like, I don't care. So that's more of his level of organization, is that something is in a room that it doesn't belong in and that it shouldn't be in, versus me is like, the pepper's supposed to be over here by the spices in the pantry, not over here by the Ziploc bags, if that makes sense.
So I guess sort of.
Okay.
So I think is it just, are you more, so are you two organized in terms of, are you like organized specific in that, okay, well, he's organized in terms of what goes where, and then I'm organized in terms of the pantry or anything like food related or kitchen related?
I
Like,
don't
are you organized in like the kitchen area, but you're a hot mess at work or something like that?
know. So like, I don't think it's like organized specific like that, because like if you look under my cabinet in my bathroom, it's super organized. So when I say that like we're organized in different ways, whereas like, okay, if you look under my bathroom, my cabinet, I have like little bins in my cabinet. One has like my hair supplies in it. One has like my extras of my lotion and stuff like that. Another one has like my blow dryers and my flat irons and stuff. Like everything's nice and neatly in its spot where it's supposed to be. But if you look under my husband's cabinet, it might be where he just is kind of like, okay, this belongs on the sink, so I'm just going to stick it in there. Like it's not lined up in a row and all nice and neat, anything like that. So it's like his organization is more of, okay, I'm going to put this where it belongs in the general vicinity of it, but it doesn't have a spot as to where it goes, if that makes sense. Like it's like, okay, I know the medicine goes in the linen closet. I'm going to stick it in the linen closet. Whereas me, I'm like, the medicine goes in the linen closet, in the third bin, from the left, in the back right, in the back left corner. Like that's my level of organization. So that if somebody's like, hey, do you have some Tylenol? I can be like, yeah, the Tylenol is, in the third bin, should be in the back left corner over there. And it's going to be right there. Versus he's like, yeah, it's in the linen closet. That type of organization. So his is, I'm going to stick it where I feel like it should go, or in the vicinity of where it should go. And mine is, it has a little invisible spot that's marked that says, the Tylenol goes here, or the pepper goes right here in this spot here. If that kind of makes sense. And
So it sounds like he's more general, like, okay, so the toys go in the toy room,
right.
and you're more like the toy would go in the toy room on the third shelf behind the closet.
Right. Back when I cared about how the toy room
Back
looked,
when
and
you
I tried
cared.
and I tried to organize it. Yes. So like I said, I won't say that he's messy. It's just that his organization is not my level of organization. And so that's where I'm trying to, I guess, get like a little bit more like, okay, it's okay. Or like me, I'm like, well, the towels need to go on, like the big towels need to go on the left side, and the washcloths need to go on the right side. And then if they're like mixed up together, I'm like, oh, well, that's not how it was supposed to, it's not how it was supposed to go. So then I'm in there moving it around instead of just being like, they're put up, like it's fine. They're in the closet. So yeah.
So it's more of like, it sounds like you're, because I mean, it sounds like, I mean, it's like you were a stickler in the beginning, but it sounds like you're loosening up a little bit more, especially now that you have a son.
Yes.
And it's like, like how many times you have to tell your son put the toys in the toy room,
Right.
right?
I just,
And it's
yeah.
like he's just gonna put it everywhere. So you're just like, you know what? Just put it somewhere in the corner.
Right.
So I think it sounds like you're exhausted.
That could very well be it. Cause even my son, he's like at the point now where he can put up his own clothes and stuff like that. And so like when I put my clothes up, if I'm putting them in a drawer, I'll like fold them up nice and neat. And his clothes, I mean, he's 7, so his clothes aren't, some of them can be folded, but most they have room where you can just like lay them out in the drawer. So he can like put his clothes up and he knows where stuff is supposed to go. So I'll be like, okay, go put your clothes up. And then I'll look and he's just like throwing them in there. And I'm like, well, why didn't you organize them neatly in the drawer? Like, why did you just take them and throw them in there? And I'm like, you didn't separate the tops from the bottoms, or you put these shorts in with these shorts. And I'm just like, you know what? I'll I'll look through them when it's time to like look to see, if you've grown out of something or if I'm looking for an outfit. So maybe that is what it is. Maybe I'm just exhausted and I'm just like, it is what it is at this point. As long as I can find what I need when I need it, I don't have time to just go behind and reorganize stuff. Like, yeah, so I'm exhausted. I didn't think about it like that, but yeah, yeah, we'll go with that.
I mean, you definitely it's did you well your parents were sticklers, right? So you kind of just did they ever get that pushback from you when you were a child?
Oh yeah, like I said, I hated organizing as a child. Like I didn't like it. Like I would put stuff wherever, and my mom was actually more so than my dad was with it, because my mom would be like, that's not where that belongs. You didn't put that back where it was supposed to go. And I remember my mom, she had surgery one time. I was maybe, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 12 years old. My room was upstairs, so she couldn't walk up the stairs. So she couldn't come upstairs for like 6 or 8 weeks or something like that. And I was like, yes, I don't have to clean my room up. Like I'm just gonna just let my room go. I'm gonna put stuff wherever I want to. And so my room was a mess. Like when I say a mess, I literally had like piles of clothes and everything was just, I didn't put anything back up. And I remember when she like went for her checkup to see how she was healing and everything, she still could come up the stairs. And I was like, oh man, but I didn't know that. And so while she was at her doctor's appointment, I remember her friend drove her to her doctor's appointment. And while she was at her doctor's appointment, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get this room cleaned up. So me and my friend are like trying to clean my room up because I'm like, she's going to come up these stairs and she's going to get me for having my room like this. Like, I know better than this. So I'm trying to hurry up and like clean my room up. And so when she got back, she's like, well, I still can't come upstairs. And I'm like, yes. And she said, but Miss Linda's going to come up there and check your room for me. And I'm like, oh man. So her friend came up there and like looked at my room and I'm like, yeah, I'm in trouble. And she just looked at me, she shook her head and she was like, Angel, your mom would have a fit if she saw your room like that. She said, but I'm not going to tell her. She said, but you need to get this room cleaned up and you need to get it cleaned up. I was like, I'm getting it cleaned up right now. I'm cleaning it up right now. And after that, I think that helped me to come to the realization of why you should put stuff back in its place, because once stuff starts to pile up like that and you got to sit there and go through it all and put it all back where it belongs, that was exhausting within itself. And so I think that was when I started getting a little bit better with like putting stuff back where it's supposed to go. Was around that time, but I definitely did like push back as a kid. You can ask my mom. My mom be like, yeah, she was definitely not this organized when she was growing up. Not at all. Nope.
So it's like you had this fear. Oh my God.
Listen, I was scared. I was so scared. I was like, yeah, I really shouldn't have done this. Like, I can't believe I let this get this out of control. I was already like preparing myself for the lecture and for the punishment. And then I was like, oh, God was looking out for me because she cannot walk up these stairs just yet. And I was like, and her friend looked out for me. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. And like I said, just having to go through and clean that up, I was like, I don't want to go through this again. So I think that kind of helped me on my path to being organized and putting stuff where it belongs.
So do you think there's this internal fear of, even now you're an adult, like if something's out of order, someone's gonna get mad at me, or do you still have that fear of your parents?
No, I don't think that I have a fear of it anymore. I think that it's one of those things that, well, I don't think. I know that I don't have a fear of it anymore. Now it's just one of those things for me that being organized and putting stuff where it belongs, it gives me a sense of peace. It gives me like a sense of a peace of mind. And
Mhm.
I like to like organize. I'll just start organizing stuff sometimes and not even mean to. Like, I know I keep bringing up the pantry, but sometimes I like go in the pantry for something and I'll be like, oh, well, let me organize it right now. And so I'll start organizing it. The other day, what was I doing the other day? I was doing something. I can't remember what it was, but I looked under my cabinets and I was like, oh, I probably need to start. I need to like reorganize the stuff. I haven't organized in a while. And then like I organized my countertop. So it just brings me a peace of mind to organize and to see things organized. And like I say, it makes my life easier that okay, I'm not looking for something or I'm not stressing out trying to figure out like another thing that I hated growing up was my mom would make me get my stuff ready at night. Like my clothes had to be out for the next day for school. My clothes had to be out. My book bag had to be by the door. Like everything that could be done the night before had to be done the night before. And I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I just want to enjoy my time. I don't want to think about school. And I
Mhm.
just got out of school. I don't want to prepare for tomorrow. Like we'll deal with it in the morning. But she's like, you like to sleep until last minute. Like I'm the type of person I get up in the morning with exactly enough time to do what I need to do. Like that's it. And so she's like, you like to sleep in the morning. She's like, if you get your hey, what will you sleep in? I don't know yet. I'll talk to you in a minute. Sorry about that. So she's like, you like to sleep in, and so if you get your stuff out and get it together at nighttime, then you can have more time to sleep in the morning. And I was like, whatever, I don't feel like it though. But now and then I remember I was like, when I went to college, so that was still when I was in my trying to get organized phase. When I went to college, my roommate, she's like, did you get your clothes out for tomorrow? Ma'am, what? Why are you serious right now? And she's like, do you have your stuff prepared for tomorrow? I'm like, I really thought I left my mom at home. Like, why are you bothering me about whether or not I have my stuff together? I don't have class until 9. She's like, and I'm like, and we live on campus. I can walk right up the hill. She's like, you need to get your stuff prepared for tomorrow. I was like, she has got to be kidding me right now. And so, like, what is happening? But then I finally realized that it does. So, but now I do get my stuff ready at night. Like, we get our stuff ready at night. We put our stuff by the door. Like, I have my bag ready for the next day downstairs by the door. My son's book bag goes downstairs. He's in camp right now, but his stuff is downstairs by the door. When school's in, his book bag's downstairs by the door. He makes sure that his homework's done. My husband, he works from home 2 days out of the week, and then he goes into the office 3 days. And so the night before he has to go into the office, he packs up his laptop and all of his stuff and he puts it by the door. And I'm like, well, that is easier because one, I do get to sleep in a couple of minutes later because 5 minutes in the morning makes a big difference. I don't care what anybody says, it makes a big difference. So I'm like, well, now I do get that extra 5 or 10 minutes in the morning time because I already know that my stuff is downstairs, it's ready. I'm not going to have to run through the house searching for my stuff that I need to take with me for work. So now I like it, and I realize that there is a method to what I like to call the madness sometimes, that it can be helpful. Yeah, it can be a pain, but if it saves me time and I get to sleep in, I'm all for it.
Right. And I think I know it's more work, but I like doing things like ahead of time. So it's just like, let me just, let's get everything together the night before. So
Right.
that way in the morning, we're not hustling and bustling and it's like we could just get up and go,
Right.
and it's doing all the heavy lifting earlier so that the next day comes and it's just smooth sailing and it's easy for you. And I think I like being organized because things just move faster
They
and things
do.
are just easier, and you know where everything is. So, and just it's just getting things moving efficiently as
Right.
opposed to just we'll just deal with it later, and then later comes, and then it's like, oh, we still got to do all this now. So it's just we'll just do it the night before. Let's get it
Right.
over now.
Exactly. I agree. And it's like when I don't do it the night before, the next morning I regret it. Like there's been times that we've gone on vacation or something like that, and then we come back on a Sunday, and as we're getting ready to wind down, I'm like, oh crap. Or one of us is like, oh crap, we got to pack his bag for school tomorrow. We got to do this for school tomorrow. It's like, okay, I'll just do it in the morning time. And then it's like the morning time comes and it's like, oh man, why did I wait until the morning too? And there have honestly been times at night that like I'll lay down and I'll go to bed, or I'll like, and then I'll wake up and I'll be like, ooh, I forgot to do such and such. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead and get up and like do it now. If it's something quick, like let me just go ahead and do it right now so that I can go back to sleep and I can still get my extra time in the morning and I'm not fumbling around in the morning trying to figure out. So if you can get it done now, like let's just go ahead and get it done and be done with it. Cross it off your list.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So now, when I was on your show, I showed you my little corner, my office
Yes.
corner. Can we see your room? What does it
Ooh.
look
Ooh. Yeah. So no. My room is a mess, like I said. So I just joined. I don't think I talked about this on my show when you were on my show, but I like to sew. And I got back into sewing during the pandemic. So at church, I just joined a sewing group where they make blankets for babies that are in the NICU, blankets for foster kids, stuff for people in Haiti and stuff like that. So I literally have fabric all over my floor, and my room currently looks like the playroom. Like there is fabric all. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's
is
a mess.
that bad? You don't want to show me?
I mean, okay, listen. Don't don't judge me, okay? Oh, I'm gonna be judged so hard for this. Okay, so I'm gonna have to turn my computer. I'm gonna have to turn my computer on. I'm trying to figure out like what's okay. I don't know. So this here, I don't know if you can see it. That's my shelf with my printer for sublimation on it. My I'm trying to pull it back some so that you can see it. My Cricut and like my printer paper and all of that. And my sewing machine is usually beside the thing with the polka dots, but it is on
Okay.
the floor over here by my desk. And so then over there is like my vinyl and my heat press and all of that, extra vinyl, all that stuff. And then in the bottom, I think is like some of my supplies and stuff like that. And then over here is my TV stand with some spaces for like me to put different things. I just actually reorganized that and my little vision board in the corner. Okay. There is my floor with
Got
all
stuff
the
all over the floor,
with
girl.
yeah, that's all the fabric for like all the projects that I have going on. And then oh sorry, dropped my mic. And so then let's see if we can see this corner. Okay, so there's another corner full of fabric. I don't know if you can see the sewing machine over there in the corner or not, and my heating pad because I'm old and my back hurts all the time. But there's my like notes to myself and all the stuff that like my son's done for me and everything hanging up on the wall. And then there's my other side of my desk. It's like a L shape because I have like my little bookcase and stuff like that over there. And then the desk that I am currently sitting on. So, and
Okay, your
it's
room's not that bad. It's actually better than mine right now. You got
oh
all that stuff on the floor. You put
my
the
God. I
fabric in
tell
the
you.
fabric corner.
So I usually do. So I actually, and then my closet's behind me. And so my closet is a bit more organized, but like, when I'm working on a project for sewing, I don't put the stuff up because it usually has like pins in it or something
Mhm.
like that. And I don't want to poke myself with the 500 pins that I have in a project. So when I'm working on a project, it's just like all over the floor. And it's really funny because my husband will be like, really? You currently have the messiest room in the house. He was like, you're always getting on us about putting stuff up. And he was like, look at this room. I'm like, don't judge me. I'm working on something. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm like, y'all stay out of our room. Get out of here. So yeah, but if I'm not working on anything, it's completely clear. Like once I finish this, I think I'm working on some blankets. And then, I need to do tote bags for my mom for her to donate to something. And yeah, so blankets, tote bags, and there's like something else that I think I'm working on. I have it on my chart over there of what I need to do. So once I finish all of that, it will be clear in here. There will be like nothing on the floor or anything like that. It'll just be completely clear and you'll just see the floor until it's time for my next project.
Ah. Well,
Yeah.
you're in the middle of a project right now,
Yes.
so
Yes.
once the project is done, then it's
It'll
okay.
be
Then your room will be clear.
Yeah, so yes, everybody out there, please don't judge me. I promise you guys that I'm organized. I promise you it doesn't always look like this. Oh goodness.
All right. Well, time is going, so we're gonna wind things down a little bit.
Okay.
So, I like to ask my guests for any words of wisdom that they'd like to share to our audience.
Um,
So, what do you have any words of wisdom you'd like to share?
words of wisdom that I like to share. Well, since it's about organizing, I'll share some words of wisdom about organizing. Just take your time with it. Don't try to rush with it. If you have never organized before, if you're in the process of trying to get yourself organized, I would say start small and don't go. And what I mean by start small is don't go and say, I'm going to organize my closet and then pull everything out of your closet. And now you have a mess in this closet because what you pull out, you have to do something with it. You either have to put it back in the closet or decide to donate it. So start small. Go through your stuff first and decide what you're going to donate. Then put that in a bag and put it in your car so that you can donate. Then go back and start organizing your closet. So just baby steps. Take it one step at a time. Don't allow yourself to get frustrated or overwhelmed. If you feel yourself getting frustrated or overwhelmed with with organizing, then just take a step back, take a break from it and do something that you enjoy because organizing isn't for some people organizing really is a chore. Everybody doesn't find enjoyment in it. So, take a step back, go do something that you find joy in and then come back to organizing. And as we've learned today that everybody's organizing looks different. So what's organized to you may not be organized for someone else. So that's my takeaway, my tidbit of advice.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well,
Thank you.
Angel, thank you for your words of wisdom and thank you for coming on Hot Topics and
Welcome. Thank
sharing
you.
your story and showing us your room.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, now it is promo time.
Ooh.
So let's get your information up there. All right, you guys. So Angel Wilborn, and she's easy to find, right? You can find her online. Her website is www.themodcosc,
The Modco SC.
the Modco,
Yes, the
the
Modco SC.
Modco, okay,
Yeah.
the modcosc.com. She's also on Instagram and Threads, which is the Modco SC, that's the account name. And she's also on LinkedIn under the Modest Company LLC dash SC. So I encourage you guys to follow her on her social media. I also encourage you to learn more about her business by going to the website, which is again www.themodcosc.com. Tell us about your business.
Oh, okay. As Gabrielle said, my business is called The Modest Company. It started off as a virtual assistant in organizing business. I am currently in the process of rebranding it, but I help. So I was originally helping women, like helping female entrepreneurs get their business organized, helping them figure out like their task and how to fine tune that. I do have some different tools for getting your business organized, but I am currently rebranding to focus more on helping businesses with their public relations and just learning more about why small businesses need public relations. So you can check me out there. And I also have a podcast. It's called The Mod Co. So I do episodes on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So you can check that out on all of your favorite podcasting app.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for that. So there you go. So she just said it right there. So Angel has a podcast called The Mod Co. You could follow it wherever your favorite platform is. So I encourage you guys to listen to her podcast and subscribe to it as well. I was recently a guest on her podcast. So I encourage you guys to check out her podcast as well and subscribe. So don't just listen to it, but subscribe as well on your favorite platform. And I just want to reiterate her contact information again. It is on the screen right now if you're watching this on video. But if you're listening to this on a podcast, all of this information, of course, is in the description. But I will share the website one more time. It is www.themodcosc.com. So I encourage you guys, follow Angel on social media, check out our website, learn about her business, and also subscribe to her podcast. All right, Angel, thank you again for coming on the show.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me. I hope you have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. All right, you guys. So it is just you and me now. So, you guys, we have reached the conclusion of yet another episode. Thank you again for joining me on Hot Topics. So, whether you are watching this on video or listening to this on a podcast, thank you for coming and, well, not coming, but thank you for listening to the show or watching the show. And I want to just take a moment to remind you guys that Hot Topics is a production of my tutoring company called A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. So if you are looking for any tutoring services, whether it's one-on-one tutoring, test prep, college counseling, editing and proofreading, resume assistance, if you need any of those services, whether for yourself or for your child, maybe you have a child in college, we also do college students as well. Maybe you're an adult learner and you're trying to elevate yourself professionally, or maybe you have a civil service exam, or you're trying to get back into school. Wherever you fall on the spectrum, whether it is yourself or your child, hit us up. Our tutors can help you. The website is www.astepAheadTutoringServices.com. You can also find us on multiple social media platforms. Just type in A Step Ahead Tutoring Services and we will pop up. Look for the pencil logo with the gray and black tip, and that is us. So once again, we are A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. So follow us on social media. And one more time, I will give you the website, www.astepAheadTutoringServices.com. I also encourage you guys to let us know your thoughts about this episode by leaving a comment in the comment section below or in the comment thread. However, drop a star, drop a rating, however you are taking in the sound of my voice, whether it is on a podcast or on a video live. Make sure you drop a comment in the comment section or in the comment thread. It helps our algorithm. So please help us out, whether you liked it or didn't like it, whatever it is. Drop a note, drop a comment, you guys. All right, you guys, and that is it for Hot Topics. I look forward to you joining me on the next episode. Thank you, guys. And now I am signing off. Bye, you guys.